Thank you for watching this video. My name is Brian Collin, and today's topic is Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Remember that the best way to study is to take practice tests. If you can't find practice tests, create your own using the Learn My Test study tool and learn while you do it, or search our growing list of test banks for one in your field of study. Sign up for free at www.learnmytest.com. Erik Erikson adopted the belief from Sigmund Freud that development is characterized by a series of stage-related conflicts between two perspectives. He believed that you must hold both perspectives in order to achieve identity strengths, which he defined as virtues. The first stage-related conflict in Erikson's theory is trust versus mistrust, and often occurs between 0 and 18 months. During this stage, an infant must depend on their parents or primary caretakers for basic things such as food, water, shelter, and emotional needs to survive. Children who can depend on their parents for these needs can trust or count on them, while those who can't may have difficulty trusting others now and later in development. Erikson believed that children who learn to trust their caretakers develop the virtue hope, where they view the world as a good place where people can be trusted. The second stage conflict of Erikson's theory is autonomy versus shame and doubt, and occurs from ages 2 to 4. During this stage, children learn to do activities on their own without the help of their parents. For example, children learn to go to the bathroom on their own or learn to dress themselves. Parents who get upset with their children doing these activities on their own may have children who struggle to be self-sufficient later on in their development. However, parents who let their children solve problems on their own when they are ready for them will have children who have the confidence to do things on their own later in development. Erikson defined the virtue for stage 2 as will, or the child's ability to express his or herself by doing things on their own. The third stage conflict in Erikson's theory is initiative versus guilt, and tends to occur between 5 and 8 years of age. During this stage, children take a step from spontaneously doing things on their own to setting goals and working toward them. Little Johnny may want to learn how to ride a bike because he wants to be able to ride down a big hill in his neighborhood. Erikson argued that many children in early childhood, like Johnny, engage in risky behaviors when they set goals. When Johnny tries to ride down the hill, falls on his bike, and gets hurt, he feels guilty that he did not successfully make it down the big hill without falling. He may go home and act aggressively toward his parents because he was unable to achieve his goal. Erikson argued that children in early childhood can often engage in aggressive behaviors toward their parents and others because they are upset with not reaching their goals. He defined the important virtue of this stage as purpose, or having a goal or reason for performing certain behaviors. The fourth stage conflict in Erikson's theory is industry versus inferiority, and occurs from ages 9 to 12. During this stage, children are more receptive to feedback from adults about their competence and begin comparing their achievement and abilities to peers. For example, children learn whether they are more attractive, a better athlete, or a more superior student than the other children in the class. They may discover things that they are good at and should pursue as a hobby. Children who receive negative feedback from adults compared to other children may view themselves as less competent, which may lead them to have a negative view about their ability and not set challenging goals that require them to perform their best. However, children who receive positive feedback from adults in comparison to peers tend to have confidence they need to pursue goals that they need to be successful later in their development. The fifth stage in Erikson's theory is identity versus role confusion, and Erikson believed that it occurs from 13 to 19 years of age. However, Erikson did state that this stage is often prolonged. During this stage, adolescents are setting boundaries with parents, such as having their own private lives with friends and romantic interests. They are also searching for a place within adult society, which can include a search for an occupation, gender, political views, and religion. During this search, children may often experiment with different identities and viewpoints in order to find their true identity. The sixth stage of Erikson's theory is intimacy versus isolation and occurs from ages 20 to 39. This stage involves finding a true romantic or intimate partner in contrast to living alone, aka isolation. As such, Erikson defined the virtue for this stage as love because ultimately the stage involves finding love. The seventh stage of Erikson's theory is generativity versus stagnation and occurs during ages 40 to 59. When thinking about this stage, think of generativity as generation, because Erikson defined generativity as giving back to the future generation. This can involve starting a family, raising children, caring for aging parents, contributing to society, for your careers, and being a supportive friend and family member. The virtue of this stage is care because Erikson believed that success in middle adulthood is about providing care to the important relationships in their lives, such as parents and children. As such, he believed that not having these important people to care for or not having the means to do so can lead an individual to feel non-productive or stagnant. The eighth and final stage of Erikson's theory is ego integrity versus despair and occurs after age 60. In this stage, older adults look back on their life and reflect on whether they lived a happy and productive life. Adults who feel good about their experience in life tend to have a lot of experience to draw upon to help and support others in their life, which is why Erikson defined the virtue of this stage as wisdom. Older adults who are satisfied with their life tend to be happy, while others who felt like they didn't live the life that they wanted may feel sad and depressed. Now let's review Erikson's stages. Stage 1 is trust versus mistrust and occurs from 0 to 18 months, 0 to 2 years, and the virtue for this stage is hope. Stage 2 is autonomy versus shame and doubt and occurs often in ages 2 through 4, and the primary virtue is will. Stage 3 is initiative versus guilt and occurs in ages 5 to 8. The primary virtue is purpose. Stage 4 is industry versus inferiority and occurs during ages 9 to 12. The virtue for this stage is competence. Stage 5 is identity versus role confusion and occurs between ages 13 and 19. The virtue for this stage is fidelity. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation and occurs between ages 20 and 39. The virtue for this stage is love. Stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation and occurs between ages 40 to 59. The virtue for this stage is care. The eighth and final stage is ego integrity versus despair and occurs in ages 60 and up. The virtue for this stage is wisdom. Remember that the best way to study is to take practice tests, and if you can't find good practice tests, build your own and learn while you do it using the free Learn My Test study tool. You can also look in our growing list of test banks for one in your field to study. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, check out our other videos posted on our channel. Also, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to get updates on our new psychology videos as they come out. If there's anything you would like me to make a video on, please feel free to enter it in the comments.